Sen and Julial Eco-Cops, The Case of the Toxic Train, an abridged graphic novel by Lydia and Charles Lapinto. The full novel is available as an e-book on Kindle. Follow the links below. The print novel is also available via Amazon and other platforms. Only the first 2 chapters of this novel are available as graphic novel. Episode 1. Worst Case Scenario. In the dead of night, the town of Wilburn is jolted awake by a deafening explosion. The ground trembles as though the earth itself is tearing apart. Inside a small weather-beaten house on the edge of town, Jeremiah and Louise wake up in a panic. The house shudders with the force of another blast, and Jeremiah's first instinct is to reach for the lamp beside his bed. But before his hand can find it, a sound like a car crash at the front door sends the lamp crashing to the floor. "Jeremiah!" Louise coughs, her voice raspy and weak. Her eyes are burning from the smoke now filling the room, and when she wipes her face with a towel, she realizes with horror that it's stained with blood. "Get the kids!" she croaks, her voice breaking as she chokes on the fumes. Without hesitation, Jeremiah bolts out of bed and runs down the hall to their children's room. The air is thick with smoke, making it hard to see, but he hears his daughter crying softly, her small voice muffled by the chaos outside. His son is coughing violently, tears streaming down his cheeks. "Papa," the boy gasps, his small hands clawing at the air. Jeremiah's strong arms gather the children close as he rushes them toward the kitchen. There, he grabs some towels, soaking them quickly under the tap before pressing them to his children's faces. "Breathe through this," he orders, his voice firm but gentle. With his daughter in one arm and his son clinging to his side, he calls out, "Louise, come on." They sprint toward the door, but the sight that greets them outside is nothing short of hellish. Less than a mile away, massive plumes of thick black smoke rise into the sky, illuminated by the fierce orange and yellow flames of the burning train cars. The air is filled with the acrid smell of chemicals, a smell Jeremiah knows all too well from his years working at the local chemical plant. As they run for the old pickup truck parked in the driveway, Jeremiah sees his neighbors doing the same. Families are fleeing in all directions, their faces glowing in the eerie light of the fire. Some are crying out to God, their voices lost in the cacophony of sirens and explosions. "Move, Mary," Jeremiah yells to a neighbor as he pushes his own family towards safety. "Chemical spill. We have to get out of here." The words barely leave his mouth before another explosion rocks the ground beneath their feet. The wind shifts, and suddenly the smoke is all around them. It's thicker now, and the smell, sulfur and burning chemicals, clings to everything, making it hard to breathe. The fire trucks and police cars arrive, their lights flashing through the thick smoke. But instead of water, the firemen need foam to battle this kind of fire. Jeremiah's heart sinks as he realizes the severity of the situation. The worst-case scenario he had dreaded during those endless safety meetings at the plant is unfolding before his eyes. At the truck, Jeremiah fumbles with the keys, his hands shaking. The engine sputters to life, but the road ahead is clogged with cars, everyone desperate to escape the encroaching death cloud. As they inch forward, Louise clutches Shayla, her eyes wide with fear as she stares out the window at the flames that are now consuming the town they've called home for years. Suddenly, the heat intensifies. Jeremiah glances in the rearview mirror just in time to see a massive fireball erupt from one of the derailed train cars. The force of the explosion sends a wave of scorching wind over the fleeing townspeople, and screams fill the air as the heat sears their skin. Jeremiah knows they can't stop. Not now. His foot slams down on the gas pedal and the truck lurches forward, barreling down the sidewalk to avoid the jammed street. Louise grips his arm, pointing to the shattered window of a store just ahead. The fire is spreading too fast, and there's no telling how many more explosions are coming. Finally, they reach the outskirts of town, where volunteers are already setting up a makeshift triage center at the old schoolhouse. Ambulances and cars line the parking lot, and Jeremiah pulls in, desperate for help. Louise stumbles out of the truck, still holding Shayla close, but when she looks down, her heart stops. Shayla's little body is limp in her arms, her face pale and motionless. Blood trickles from her tiny nose, and as Louise drops to her knees, a wail of despair escapes her lips. Her daughter isn't breathing. As the sheriff arrives on the scene, clad in a heavy hazmat suit, he surveys the devastation with a heavy heart. He's seen many things in his years as a lawman, but nothing like this. The emergency crews are overwhelmed, the town in chaos, and the toxic cloud continues to spread. Inside the sheriff's car, the hazmat team leader Harry Jones removes his mask, revealing his exhausted, sweat-soaked face. "Sheriff, this town is going to blow," he warns. "We have to get everyone out now." But the sheriff knows it's already too late for many of them. The town is in ruins, and the people they couldn't save haunt him as he turns to face the grim task ahead. End of episode 1.